I'm joined here today by Dr. Bobby Woodard, the Senior Vice President of Student Affairs here at Auburn University. Dr. Woodard, thank you for sitting down with me.
Perfect. Thank you for having me, AJ.
So, Dr. Woodard, being in charge of student affairs puts you in charge of a large variety of departments, including Greek life, housing, dining, and many others. How are these offices adjusting and innovating during this unprecedented time of COVID-19?
Yeah, so we started planning in January for what was going to happen. Now, we did not plan for us to go remote in March, so we had to pivot real quickly on that. And then the summer gave us a little bit of time to plan more for the fall. So how they planned more is, say, dining. Dining has had to shift some of their hours. They've had to shift how they deliver meals. And if you notice, if you do Grubhub, you can pick it up, and it's a little place that you, a shelf that you go pick it up at versus someone actually touching it. Also, they're now doing at-home meals. So if you stay at an apartment or something off campus, you can go and it's almost, you pick up a meal to go, a prep meal, and you go home and you cook it, and it gives you instructions of how to cook it. So that's pivot there. Housing is a little bit more difficult. Housing, you have all these people in close quarters that you having over there, and also you want to do some programming. So we limit our programming, added more virtual options for everything, and then also we were having 3 buildings decommissioned, which actually worked out this year because our quarantine students and isolation students can stay in those facilities. Greek life is another thing. We had to change how we do recruitment for sororities, fraternity rush. We changed that also, and also how they're going to do their events, how they feed their students at the houses, and also how they do chapter meetings, and most of that has been virtual or in waves or in platoons to do that.
I know you had brought up housing and that we have now 3 dorms being used for quarantine and isolation housing. About 2 weeks ago, Yellowhammer News reported that about 67% of these quarantine dorms were full. Can you provide us with an update on that number?
Sure. This week it's 12% full in the residence halls. And let me clarify that. Because it fluctuates between the 14-day and the 10-day of isolation and quarantine, and when students go in, the number fluctuates every day. So today we could be at 12%, tomorrow we can be at 67%, and then it would somebody's coming out of the residence hall every day, while somebody's probably going in the residence halls every day. So at this point in time, we are doing well. Now we will see the spike from Labor Day starting this week, and we'll go into next week and we'll see that. But right now, with our 3 residence halls, we're doing really well with our capacity for on-campus students and letting them quarantine and isolate.
We've received reports of students across Auburn telling people not to self-report for fear of campus closing down, similar to what happened in March. What is your response to these students?
Sure. So first of all, our plan is to be here till the 24th of November. We want to be in-person classes, we want to do remote classes, and then we'll begin exams and so forth. So our goal, the whole semester, has to be to complete this semester and be here through the Thanksgiving week. Now, for the students that are not reporting, we want you to report. It is simple as that. It is common good. It is so that we know what's going on and we can figure out if there's any clusters here. There's a self-report form that you can do online, and that way it's just, and we are tracking. And the reason we're tracking it is just to see if there's any clusters. It's for the greater good and the safety of our whole campus. I highly encourage you to report if you do get that or get a positive, or if you think someone beside you has gotten a positive, then to quarantine yourself for 14 days just to make sure. The problem is you don't always have to be symptomatic. You can be asymptomatic and still be carrying the virus. So at that point in time, I know our students are a little worried about if we're going to, shut down or go remote. At this point, we have no plans of going remote. Our numbers are doing well. We'd like to see them lower, of course. We do know that we'll expect a spike next week and the week after, and then we're hoping they'll go down again. And we'll just have to manage that. And as long as the local hospital, AEMC, can handle some of the influx, our medical clinic here on campus, our quarantine isolation dorms are doing well, I think we'll be okay, and I think we'll make it to the end of November.
So the Sentinel testing program here at Auburn, being provided by GuideSafe, has been running for a little over a week. Have any of your departments had any issues with high numbers reported?
So in the Division of Student Affairs, we've had students, or student workers, I should say, and we've also had employees test positive by going through the sentinel testing that GuySafe has, or going through a public doctor, or a private doctor, I should say, at the same time. And what happens is we have our human resource liaison is managing that. That person reports to them, and then at that time they're given COVID leave, and they're asked to quarantine or isolate if they're positive, to isolate. And then at that point in time, we make sure that the people that need to know in the department that someone has become in contact with them that may have had the virus, and we will go for it there. So it's been a low number, but we have had a number of, especially students in our division. I mean, we employ about 750 students a year through the Division of Student Affairs, and so we've had a small number, but we've had a number of students that have tested positive.
We are about 10 days away from Auburn's football home opener against Kentucky. Can you tell us a little bit about what the university's plan is to stop students, or at least spread students out, in crowding up outside Jordan-Hare prior to kickoff?
Yeah, we're working with the local event management group, but also athletics, of how to get students in. The good thing is, for the most part, that first game is only students in the general public area. And if you walk by the stadium right now, you can see the seats. The seats are in sections of 2 or 4 together. And we're going to have people monitor that when you get inside the bowl. For the most part, you have to sit in those seats. You need to be in those seats. Now, you can stand up, but you can't move away from the seats. That's to kind of help with the social distancing, and it's a visual social distance. So if I'm standing at the bottom of it, I can look up and see if people are social distancing or not in there. This first game is a test, and it depends on how the students act. I mean, if the students are responsible and they wear their masks, they social distance, they wear the mask and they go to the restroom or concession stand, they stay in the seats, and again, you don't have to stay seated, but stay in that area of the seats, and you social distance, you spread out, then I think we get to have more students at more games as we go down the year. Now, if the students go in there and they don't pay attention to the social distancing or what people are asking them to do while we're going there, then it will hurt how many students get to go to the games further down the year. So it's the responsibility of this first game and the students that get to go. I think it's around 13,000 students that get to go into the game, to really decide how we're going to operate as we go further. Now, I will also say that don't forget that our women's soccer starts this Friday, as well as the weather clears up, and they will also have students, and you can apply for students there. So that's another way for our students to get out and really try athletic commitment before we actually go into football next weekend.
According to a study done by the Healthy Minds Network and the American College Health Association, colleges across the country have seen an uptick in students seeking counseling and help in regards of their mental health during such a stressful time. What is your reaction to this, and how is student counseling helping students here at Auburn?
Yeah, it's very true. AJ, you are spot on with that research that you did on that. We are seeing an uptick in that. The good thing is that our health wellness promotion area here has a Sound Mind off the Student Affairs webpage that students can go and get some ideas of how to relax and how to deal with anxiety during this point in time. The other thing you mentioned was student counseling and psychological services. There's a 24/7 hotline. And at this point, someone can call that at any point in time and talk to a person. We also offer group sessions as well as individual sessions, virtual. We can do in person if it's the right situation. So we do offer those, and we're also trying to get people to get out of their residence hall or get out of their apartment in small groups, social distancing with a mask, but we are offering events so students can do that, and we encourage you to get out. Don't stay trapped up in your room. Don't stay watching TV all day or on social media all day. You've got to have some interaction. So we really want our students to take control of their mental health and go out and try to find something that helps them relax, help them deal with the anxiety. All of us have that right now with being, cooped up or with the other restrictions on campus and out in the community. So counseling psychological services does offer 24/7. Again, our Sound Mind on our health wellness promotion also offers some ideas for our students to relax.
An email was sent out to students last week by Campus Safety, which states that there had been 2 reports where students believe that they had been involuntarily given a drug at an unauthorized fraternity-related event. What is the university doing to help keep students safe from druggings?
So that event, yes, we had a call, I don't know, about 7 o'clock that night before it went out to discuss the situation, and that there was a timely warning necessary to send out, and we sent that out. So we are investigating that. The local law enforcement, Auburn PD, as well as our Greek Life Office and Student Conduct are investigating that organization for that, and some of the people possibly in the organization. So what I would tell you, in any point in time, whether you're on campus or you go down to the local establishments downtown or anywhere else, always watch your drink, cover your drink, have somebody watch your drink. Don't leave it unattended, whether it's a Coke or water or Gatorade or whether other things that may be in those red Solo cups and so forth. I would say that you continue to keep those covered. If you do feel that you're not feeling good or you're not feeling right, have a buddy, go with a buddy, have them help you get somewhere. Don't go home, don't go out with somebody you don't know. If somebody offers to take you home and you don't know them, call someone that you do know. Then also seek medical attention if you feel that you really have been drugged.
What is Greek Life doing to monitor and prevent future unauthorized gatherings?
So Greek Life has a policy, and I have met with IFC. I will be meeting with NPHC hopefully in the next couple of days. I need to make a call to them and talk to them, as well as Penn Atlantic. But IFC with the fraternity houses seems to be in their fall, sometimes more the offenders of this policy. So we are working with Greek Life, and Greek Life are working with those students to make sure they follow the rules. If they don't follow the rules, then there's repercussions for that. And as you may or may not know, we have a couple organizations currently that are on cease and desist because we're doing investigations into them. And that's where the consequences come from as they go to the IFC court. And then again, if it isn't an organizational case and it turns into a personal case, that means if there's one or two people responsible versus the whole organization, they'll also go through student code of conduct.
Across our nation, we have been seeing an increase in awareness of racial discrimination and social justice in all aspects of society. Specifically here at Auburn, there's an Instagram account titled Black at Auburn, where people of color in the community can share their experiences. Now, a majority of these experiences shared are not positive. What is Student Affairs doing to ensure equality and a better Auburn experience for everyone?
So it's not just Student Affairs' responsibility, but we have a large portion of that responsibility. So we're working with the President's office, Dr. Clayton's office, which is the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So for us, we read those, and I get tagged in most of them, if not all of them, per my work Instagram account. And then what I do is every week that I get tagged in one, I take it to my senior team, and we look at it and we talk about, okay, what can we do better? What can we do to prevent these? So we've got to talk about real world. This is what our students are feeling. This is what they're experiencing. How can we do better? And so we're looking at ways to do that. We've done one training in the Division of Student Affairs that was offered throughout the whole division. That was done by Gary Morgan over in OID, which did an excellent job for us about that. And then the President's Cabinet, there's about 42 of us on there. The President's Cabinet, we've done 2 3-hour sessions with a facilitator to come in to learn more about how we can be a more open campus. Now, the President also has a council or a working group on diversity and inclusion that meet every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 or 4 p.m. I am not on that group, but there are others on that group, and we get a report from them every week, and then we look at how we can do better on that. The other thing I will say, the last thing is not only are we keeping that internally, but externally, the Board of Trustees also has a working group of how we can improve our access to the university, our scholarships to the university, but also how we do better about practices on campus for our students.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or let students know?
Well, the biggest thing, and AJ, you hit it a little bit. Look, everybody uses the word unprecedented, and we know that, but here's the thing. It's a difficult time. We've got a lot going on in our country. We've got a lot going on with the presidential elections coming up, some racial inequality stuff, social unrest. We're getting ready for football to kick up, which is a big fall sport for us. We got the pandemic. We've got some regulations on campus, off campus that we all got to deal with. We got the stresses of already going to campus. I just want everybody to take time and take a breath, think about your mental health, but reach out to someone. If you're struggling, reach out to someone, ask a friend, Even if you don't ask a friend, ask somebody that works here at the university for help. We will get you help. You've got to take care of what makes you you. We want you to be safe, but we want you to be happy at the same time. So we're going to make sure that you're successful at the university, but you got to take care of yourself first. So I guess, AJ, the one thing I want to tell all of our students, look, you've done an excellent job. We've asked a lot of you. You have kept up with the mandates that we've put forth. It is a different time than you've ever experienced and than we've ever experienced. I just want to say thank you to our students because you're chipping in and you're really caring about our Auburn community, and I really do appreciate your effort. And we got to keep it up. We're only about 5 weeks in the semester, so keep up the great work. Good luck with all the courseworks, and if there's anything we can do, let us know.
Well, that is all the time that we have today for Plain Talk. Dr. Woodard, I want to thank you once again for coming down here, sitting down with me and answering a few of our questions. It's always a joy to have you down here. Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at Eagle Eye TV, and be sure to check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm AJ Revera, and War Eagle.